it's nice and combined. I did not take out any of the moisture in the pumpkin puree for this recipe because for a cake, I feel like you want all the moisture you can get. It's not like a cookie, so. Also, thank you to everyone who's been saying nice things about appreciating my new little fall decor setup. I spent too much money at the craft store on this, and so I'm glad that you all like it. That makes it all worth it. Also, I think it's really cute, and I'm excited to start looking and seeing what they have for winter decor. Can you believe it's mid-October already? Where has the time gone? I cannot believe that I'm looking for winter decor soon. I'm seeing Christmas ornaments and Christmas trees at the store when I go to shop. That's crazy. Like, one thing at a time, please. We haven't even had Halloween yet. It's just, it all comes at you so fast, and then I get like overwhelmed by all the holidays. Anyways, I'm adding the olive oil here, and I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of oil in this cake. Okay, that's a cup of olive oil, and when you're adding that much oil to something, you have to do it slowly in increments, almost like you're making like a salad dressing or something, if you've ever done that. Otherwise, the oil is not going to combine as easily or combine into the mixture at all, and it's just going to be like a pool of oil on top of your batter. Not a good situation to be in. So you want to add it in increments with the egg and pumpkin in this situation to get it all nice and incorporated and fluffy. That's like the perfect fall orange color. I love it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with color seasons. Recently, I've been getting an influx of color season videos online on social media, and so I guess everyone like fits into a season. There's like summer, fall, winter, spring. I don't know why I felt the need to tell you what the seasons are. You probably know what the 4 seasons are, but I guess it has to do with like your undertones and like your hair color and your eye color, what season you're in. And people, like, this is their whole profession, is other people will come in and be like, tell me what color season I am, and they'll like do a whole analysis, and it's really interesting. I don't live near anyone who does that, so I have been sort of just trying to guesstimate what my season might be, and I might be a little biased just because I love fall so much that I kind of think I'm in autumn, but I don't know if I'm just hoping that I'm in autumn citrusy sort of flavor of the brown sugar with pumpkin and fall spiced desserts. So that's why I did half and half. But if you only have like granulated sugar, feel free to just use granulated sugar. It'll still be fine. And then of course, vanilla. We measure with our hearts. Every time you see, I don't know how many of you actually go to my blog and look at the recipes. I do write vanilla measurements down. But those are really just guesses because I literally never, I don't think I've ever measured vanilla in my life. So take the vanilla measurements I write down with a grain of salt. You can totally add more or add less. I feel like vanilla extract, measuring vanilla extract in baking is the equivalent of measuring garlic cloves in cooking. And it's like you just sort of put like a culturally acceptable amount in there. You know what I mean? And then I added milk afterward. It actually was almond milk because I cannot tell you the last time I have bought cow's milk. I don't know if that's controversial to say. Some kind of switch just flipped in me one day where I was like, actual dairy milk kind of makes me uncomfortable. Sort of like how some people get like weird aversions to eggs every once in a while. I have that with milk, except it didn't go away. So I use like almond milk usually. Oh, you're learning so many things about me today. I hope you're having fun. Hope you're taking notes too. There will be a quiz at the end of this video. And if you don't pass, you have to unsubscribe. Just kidding, please don't unsubscribe. I like you all too much. You gotta stay forever, duh. But in my original olive oil cake recipe, it was like an orange sort of citrus one. And so for that, I did citrus juice, obviously, but for this, I did just milk. But honestly, I feel like orange in this might taste good with like the spices. So I don't know, maybe I'll try that out one day. And now I'm adding my leaveners, my baking soda, and my baking powder. We love those little guys. And my salt, I really need to get like a separate salt container to put my salt in because I hate using this box of salt. It's so obnoxiously large, and it also like leaks salt everywhere. It's very annoying. I don't like it. But buying salt in bulk like that is a better deal. So I need to get I need to go to Marshall's or TJ Maxx and see if they have a cute little salt container that I can get. I'm using 2 different kinds of flour for this recipe. I'm using all-purpose and bread flour. And I'm gonna be honest, I do not remember why I decided to use 2 different kinds of flour. I think I just felt like I wanted to be fancy, I wanted to be different, I wanted to be unique. I wanted my cake to be not like other girls, so I added bread flour. But if you do not have bread flour, you can use completely all-purpose, and it will still turn out good. It might be a slightly lighter cake texture, but honestly that's fine. Everyone has their different preferences. For an olive oil cake, usually it is a little bit denser. It's still like moist, but it is like a little bit of a thicker crumb, a tighter crumb, so to speak. I don't know what I'm doing here, just sloshing around the dough, the batter. singular organ to be at the same time, so you can only imagine what's going on up there. I'm adding not just cinnamon to this, but I'm adding, what did I add? I added nutmeg, I think, and some clove, and perhaps a little bit of allspice, just to give the spice factor a little more dimension. Since this is a pumpkin cake, it's almost like a pumpkin spice coffee cake, I thought I'd add some more spices. I actually don't know if there is, like, what is pumpkin spice, what kind of spice blend specifically, if there is one. Like, what qualifies as pumpkin spice? I don't think I've ever seen like a spice container labeled pumpkin spice at the store, so I don't know. Maybe they do sell it like that. But I always just sort of combine a bunch of spices together with pumpkin, and I'm like, this is pumpkin spice. So if you actually know what spices are used in pumpkin spice, please enlighten me. And hopefully they're the ones that I'm using. I feel like, what other spices could you put in there? Ginger, I guess. Or cardamom. Those are the only other two I could think of that would be missing. Sometimes I do add black pepper into my spice mixtures because I just like the punchiness that it gives, but I didn't today. I kept it tame for you all because I wasn't sure like what the vibes were, if we were okay with black pepper in our sweet desserts or not. I will say, when it gets to around Christmas time and I make gingerbread, I will be adding black pepper into my gingerbread, so get ready for that. So I did my flour and my spices and my sugar, and then I just melted some butter, and now we're mixing it up and forming little clumpies of tasty goodness. Honestly, I could just like bake this on a tray and eat it on its own. I love it. It's just like this sweet buttery little burst of flavor. It's great. 10 out of 10 would is worth it. I have to keep reminding myself that it is worth it. So, there is the first layer. Oh my god, the dogs are barking. Everyone's barking. Everyone's outside. Don't they know? Don't they know I'm filming for my YouTube channel? How rude of them. I hope you can't hear that. Or that my added sounds sort of cover that up. I have been adding extra, like, sort of tapping and baking sounds. I don't know, how are we feeling about that? I'm gonna take the temperature of the room. It is definitely a lot more time spent editing for me, but I do find it, like, very fun and creative as a process. So, if you guys are into it, I will continue to add the little editing extra sounds in. There is the first layer done of the coffee cake, and now we're going to do the second layer, which is infinitely harder to spread around in an even layer because now you have the crumble there that's getting picked up by the batter. So it's a little tricky, but it's okay. I finessed it, I made it work, and I believe that you can also finesse it and make it work too. Just like Bruno Mars. He has a song called Finesse, right? I don't know much about Bruno Mars other than, like, I think he's short. He's a short king. And also, like, he may or may not be in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gambling debt. I don't know if that was, like, confirmed or not. I did hear people talking about that, but I don't know if it was a joke. Some people said it sort of as a joke, and then some people said it, like, sort of seriously. So I don't know. Bruno Mars, if you're out there, if you're watching, I know you do, Bruno. I know you watch these videos. I can feel it in my bones. Please measurements for the glaze because I kind of wung it. Is that the past tense word for wing? Because winged sounds weird, but a wung also sounds weird. I don't know. I think I did about like half a cup of powdered sugar, a sprinkling of cinnamon, and about a tablespoon of milk, I think. That got me to the perfect consistency, which was, it was still runny enough to like drizzle, but it wasn't like thin and like too liquidy. So that was my goal. That was my goal. And honestly, I always overcompensate the liquid when I make glazes, and so I was sort of impressed with myself that I kind of got it right on the first try. So I don't know why I always think you need so much liquid, and you really don't unless you're doing like a donut glaze. But see, there you go. It's like, it's viscous, I think. I think I used that word correctly. Here is the cake, all done out of the oven, and I put the clips back on. Oh, and we zoomed in apparently. It's time to add the glaze now. I just think this was like a nice finishing touch. I think it really brought the look together. I don't know why I'm talking about it like this is a fashion show. It's literally a square sheet cake, but I don't know, there's something about a glaze that just it does something to me, this glaze. And not in a weird way, I just mean like I don't know what I mean anymore. I don't know what I'm saying. Words are just words and they're just coming out of my mouth. I just think the glaze adds a little je ne sais quoi to the cake. Let me just flex my high school French knowledge on you with that word, that phrase. Don't ask me to say anything else in French because I took it for 5 years and I cannot remember more than like 3 words. That's okay. I'm cutting out the little corner piece to show you and share with you through the screen virtually. This is your slice, okay? I'm cutting it out just for you. So I hope you like the corner piece. Also, it was kind of hard to get out, as all first pieces are notoriously. So some of the crumble did come off, but it's okay. I fixed it for you guys. I hope you don't mind that I was handling your piece in that way, but I just wanted you to have the best presentation because you deserve it. And you deserve to have a slice of cake. I'm putting it on this fancy crisp white plate for you. Look at that. I actually don't know where this plate came from, so I cannot confirm if it's fancy, but I think fancy is more of a mindset. So if we believe it's fancy and upscale, then I think it is. Here she is. So yummy. Okay, get ready to take a bite. Are you ready? Great.